Hi everyone, Myra here. I am getting ready to start a new project and I thought I would take y'all along. I'm probably not going to show it, minute by minute, but I'll do some and then do some off camera and then come back, that kind of thing. The project I'm doing is a gift for a friend, and I'm going to be using the Tim Holtz Configuration book. That's the label here for it. I'm at a different camera angle, so this ought to be fun. It's the configuration book from Tim Holtz. It gives you different layouts on the back that you can do. But here's mine. It's just like a little book format. It has all these little boxes that come in it that you can rearrange however you want to. Well, I've decided on mine that I'm going to do like a little kitchen, and I'll try and get it up here in frame to show you kind of what my idea is. It'll probably evolve and change as we go along, but let's see if I can get my camera adjusted a little better. Maybe that's a little better, I don't know. Okay, like I said, I want to do maybe a little more. Okay, a kitchen. And what I have in mind is I've got these three right here that I'm going to put on the bottom, and then these for the top, and this is going to be like cabinets. And I'm thinking, maybe like down here, make this like a kitchen sink, put a little curtain over here, and put some little things under the curtain, and then maybe draw or take chipboard and put pieces on here to look like cabinet doors, and then put some wallpaper, and I think I'll probably put a window here, not a real one that goes through, just an image of one. And then these are going to be the upper cabinets. And then on this side, I think I'll put a prima doll. That's what I got her out for. I think maybe I'll have sorry about the glare. Ugh. Put the prima doll on this side. And then maybe on the front, put a door, like you're going into a house, or maybe even going into the kitchen, I don't know. Oh, my screen went down. Hang on just a second while I turn off my screensaver, because it'll just keep going down on me. Excuse me for a second. Should have done that to begin with, but I forgot about it. Okay. That's better. Sorry about that. But I got out a bunch of little things. I got a doily. Maybe put a piece of doily. These are going to keep going down on me when I lean this up. But like maybe this will be like the countertop, and put, you got to keep in mind that you don't have much space there, and you got to remember that the door has to close. But I've got a little doily out. Maybe put a little piece of a doily hanging off of the cabinet. Make this a countertop, and this is going to be like a little sink here. It's going to be an awfully skinny sink, but I'm going to have to figure out a way to make it work. But here's some of the things that I got out. I won't be using it all, but I just got it out to see what I needed. I got some little plates and silverware. That's what those are. These are little cans of food. Maybe put some of those on the counter, or maybe up in the cabinets. This is a little pot. There's a flour sifter, some cookie cutters, the grater, and a bowl of eggs. Just little things that I pulled out that I might use. This is mostly like little china pieces, little cups and saucers and that kind of stuff, little pots. So I may use some of that, may not. This is a little canister set that I think I'll maybe decorate up a little bit better, and set that out on the counter, on the back of the counter here. I've got a cookie sheets, some muffin pans, a loaf pan. Like I said, yeah, I won't use everything, just got stuff out. There's a doorknob to use for if I put the door on the front. These are drawer pulls, but I don't think I'll be able to use them. Like if I put a drawer or a cabinet on here, I can't put anything dimensional on it, or the door won't close. Otherwise I would have to cut it down even shorter, and that wouldn't leave me any room at all to set things or decorate on the top. This is all little hardware stuff here, little flourishes and hardware. I know you probably can't see those very well, but I pulled those out to see if I needed to play with any of those. And there's some little mason jars, little miniature mason jars that I might put something in and put those up in the cabinet. But that's kind of my idea of where I want to go with this, and like I said, it will probably evolve as I go along. And like I said, I want to put a prima doll on this side. And a tip for those of you that don't have a stamp block big enough for your prima dolls, just use one of your Sizzix or your Big Shot cutting plates. I keep one that's uncut just for my prima dolls. They're perfect size. Oops, sorry for the glare. Perfect size. They're nice and big for those prima dolls. The papers I pulled out, I don't know whether I'll use papers or whether I'm going to do painting or part paint, part papers, but I just pulled some out to play with. I got these red, kind of going with the, I found this, let's see, where's it at? I got these at Tuesday morning. These cute kitchen papers. They're from TCP Studio. This was So Delish, and this one's called What's Baking. There's one side, and here's the other side. Sorry about the glare. Oh, that glare's awful. And then this is another one. I didn't get the whole set, but I did get these 2 pages. I thought maybe this one might be good for the wallpaper on the back, since it's a smaller print. And there's that side. And then this is just one that I randomly pulled out of my stash. This one's by Echo Park, Dots and Stripes. I guess that's maybe the name of it. Oh, this one is Garnet Tiny Dots. I guess is the name of it. I don't know if you can read that, but I got that out because it seemed to match this red and mittens there fairly good. So if I needed another color. And then this is just some cardstock I pulled out that looked good with it. So it's kind of like a red, blue, and green theme going on here. And like I said, I don't know if I'll use, you know, I don't know if I'll cover everything with paper, or if I just mostly paint and just add a little like wallpaper back here or something like that. But that's the start of my project. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to take my gesso out. I'm not going to glue anything down yet. I'm going to take my gesso and I'm going to cover everything, the entire book and the inserts all in gesso. And I won't make you sit through that, so I'll check back in with you whenever I've got something else to share. Thanks everybody for watching, and I'll probably just, I don't know if I'll do these individual videos or if I'll hook it all together, but we'll see as it goes along. Thanks everybody for watching. Meow for now. Hi everyone, I'm back with an update, and excuse me if I sound funny. I've got a piece of candy in my mouth. Sorry if I slurp or whatever. I've got a coated gesso on everything. Did my book front and back and all the pages, and then I did all my pieces, and then I went and added a shelf in the top. These top 2 cabinets here, I just added a little shelf, and the way I did that is I just cut a piece like it would fit in there, and then I just used the paper hinges, those little things, you know, it's just a piece of paper folded in half, and then you put it on the end like that, and I put one on each side, and then I glue, you know, that helps me glue it to the side of the cabinet, as you can see there. So I put one in there and one in there. The bottom cabinets, I'm putting some faux drawer and door on. I haven't got them glued down yet, but that's kind of what it's going to look like. And I'm hoping, this is like 1/16 of an inch thick chipboard, and I'm hoping it won't hinder my door on the book from shutting. If it does, I'll have to shave off a little bit on the back side here before I glue it down. But I'm going to do that on both the bottom, and then the place where the sink is, I cut a piece to look like a faux drawer, like they sometimes are, like that, and then I'll have like a little curtain coming down from that to hide the underneath the sink. So what I'm going to do next is glue all these pieces down, finish gessoing those, and then I'm going to put a coat of, where'd it go? This one here. This is Folk Art acrylic paint, warm white. I'm going to cover everything with the warm white, I think. Yeah, that's probably what I'm going to do next. So I'm going to glue these down, gesso them, and I think I'll wait to glue these into the box until I get the painting done. Might even wait till I get the wallpaper in the back. I don't know. I'll let you know as I go along. But anyway, my next step is to paint. So I'll be back in a few with some more. Thanks. Okay, I've got everything painted. Most of it 2 coats, some of it just one. I just put one because I know it's all going to be covered. So right now I cut a piece of paper and I'm fixing to put some wallpaper in the back. And I know I don't need a full sheet because there's cabinets up here and cabinets down here. So I'm going to add that in. I have noticed that I'm really kind of surprised at the quality of the Tim Holtz Configuration book. It's really kind of poor, you know, if you really think about it. The way it's put together and the way things are rounded off instead of square, and nothing is even, and it just really surprised me how poorly made it seemed to me. Just like on these boxes, I don't know if you can tell, like see in the corners, I mean that's just, they're not nice and crisp, and the boxes are rounded off instead of square. I don't know if that's done on purpose or what, but I don't know, it just seems kind of poorly made, in my opinion. I mean, I understand that they're mass producing them and they got to get them out and you know, sell them, but if you're going to put your name on it, you know, at least do a halfway decent job of it. Okay, now I'm going to add my little cabinets in, and they're going to go in looking like, oh goodness, I was going to say, what happened? It didn't fit anymore. Okay. Now these are going this way. And this will go this way. Do I really want to glue these in right now? Do I need to glue them in? Let's see. What have I got to do? No, I think I could go ahead and glue them in. Yeah. What do you think? It's starting to look more like a little more like a kitchen. Let's see if I can get you down a little closer. Still haven't figured out this camera view yet. Got a little better? Not a whole lot, is it? Yeah, maybe enough. Okay, let's see. What do I have to do next? I got my wallpaper in. I'm going to be putting a window here. But I think I'm going to go ahead and glue my... Probably regret this, but I'm going to go ahead and glue my cabinets in. And see, as you can tell, they don't really fit straight, and there's gaps, and it's just... I don't know, even whenever I got it, I guess it had been dropped on this corner, and this whole side was broken off. That's not the manufacturer's fault, I don't think, but still, it just seems like they could have done a little better job. And I even noticed on the, let's see, it's on the back cover. Whenever I painted it, I'll show you. I see there's a spot here. I don't know if you're going to be able to tell. My lighting isn't very well. No, you're probably not going to be able to tell. But there's bubbling right across here. I don't know if you can see that on the camera or not. And it was not from my painting. It was on the original book. So, I don't know. Now I stuck that together again. Having an awful time with this one little spot right here wanting to stick where it shouldn't be sticking. And I just closed the book, and silly me, I had just repaired that a few minutes ago, and I closed the book too much right then, and it stuck up there, got stuck. So I'm going to have to let that really dry well before I ever even think about closing the book. But I think what I'm going to do next is glue my little cabinets in, and then I'll start trying to figure out what kind of window. I've got a couple of window dies that I'm going to look at, decide which one I want to do. So I'm going to glue these in. I'm going to figure out my window, and then I guess I'll probably be back after that. Alrighty, see you in a bit. Okay, it's actually been a day or so since my last part of this video. I moved my camera and my setup down closer to my monitor, so I'm in a different spot and a different camera angle, but we'll see how this works. I put some pattern paper into the shelves for shelf liner. I created a window. It's the Tim Holtz window, steel rule die window, and I cut two of them, and I sandwiched a piece of acetate between the two, and then I took a stamp, don't think I have it out anymore, of that little barnyard scene, and just colored it with my distress markers and put it behind. And I glued it down first before I did the cabinets, because it's actually, the other end is the same as this one here with this decorative edge, and that is shoved up under the counter, under the cabinets. So I glued the window down first, and then I glued the cabinets down. Oops, sorry, hitting my computer. And then I glued these down, so everything's glued down. And I still gotta say, excuse me, I'm trying not to sneeze. I've been sneezing my head off all day. But I gotta say again, I'm just so disappointed in this. Maybe I'm just too picky or something, and y'all let me know if you think the same thing, or if you're fine with the way these were put together. I guess they'd be alright if you were doing like a mixed media project where you didn't really expect everything to be perfect or, you know, straight. But these just seem so crooked. See, these three are supposed to be the same size, but yet you can see how this one goes across, and this one dips down, and this one goes across. I mean, Obviously, you know, this one's flipped the other way than these two, but the edges should be straight, I would think. You know, I guess that's just me. But it just seems, you know, I was looking at these, one's bigger than the other. I don't know if you can tell, this one is bigger than this one, and they're supposed to be the same size, but yet they're bigger this way, and they're bigger. One is bigger this way. I mean, they're not the same size. They're rounded off. They're poorly finished. I mean, I'm just really not happy. Not happy with the way it is. I should have just made mine from scratch, and I'll do that in the future, but I'm just trying to use up what I have, so I'm gonna try and make it work the best I can. But anyway, for my countertop here, I want a sink in the center here, above this section right here. I want to put in a little sink, and as you know, there's not much room here, so it's going to be a little difficult to do. But what I did was I cut a piece of, let's see if I can get into frame here. I cut a piece of chipboard, and I cut out a little hole, and I had to put a couple of little, I don't know if you can tell that or not. No, it doesn't. Well, maybe there you can see. Or maybe not. It's not going to focus, I don't think. But I had to put an extra strip here on the front and an extra strip here on the front because of the way this sits. It has to go to sit on top of this piece. This leaves a gap on these sides. So I just put a little piece on those sides to help it sit more straight. You know, it's not going to be perfect by any means. But then for the sink, I keep hitting the camera, sorry. See, I've got a little gap there for the sink. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this heating and air foil tape. You know, it's like to wrap your duct tapes, to seal your duct taping. I'm going to take a piece of this and put it down on here. So whenever this is on there, it's going to give the illusion of a little bit of depth with like a stainless steel sink. I hope that's what it's going to look like. And then I couldn't figure out what to do with how to make faucets, because I didn't want to go out and buy anything. I mean, I could have made one with clay or whatever, but I finally decided on pipe cleaners of all things. I took some gray pipe cleaner, and I just wrapped it around itself, and then I know you're not going to be able to see. I know you're thinking a fuzzy faucet, but I mean, it'll work. You know, it'll be okay. And this will be attached to the wall above the sink. And then I just made a couple of little circles with the pipe cleaner for the knobs. That's, you know, it doesn't have to be perfect, since this is not going to be an actual like dollhouse scale model, so that'll work for that. And then above the window here, I want to put a curtain, and I also want to put a curtain down here to cover below the sink. So I cut me a couple of little pieces of dowel rod, and I've got some fabric here, this little checked fabric, and I think I'm going to make the skirt down here, but I'm thinking for the above, I'm going to see if I have some more sheer fabric for the curtain up over the window. But I think that's my next, after I finish the sink and the cabinet, I'll be doing the curtains. I thought about doing some tile. You know, I cut some little pieces of chipboard to look like a little tile, but it just didn't look right, so I'm just going to go with the old flat slick counter, like the what is that, laminate? Can't think of the word. I think it's laminate, but you know, like the old countertops. But that's what I want it to look like. But you know, I'm just really disappointed how these go together. Please let me know, you know, below in the comments what you think. Do you like these boxes? I mean, have you had any problems with them? Are yours straight? Is mine just a manufacturing flaw? I don't, you know, it just seems like they could have done a little better job. I don't know if you can tell with these cabinets here. It's just not really showing up on the camera, but these are really crooked too. They don't fit in straight. They're not, you know, they're not straight or anything. Maybe I'm just being too picky. I don't know, but get this little part done and then I'll check in again. Okay, I'm back for the last part. It's been about a week now since the last part I did because I got really sick, but I'm back and I have finished it, and I've decided that I'm not gonna decorate the outside because it's meant to display on a shelf with it open. So I decided just to put papers on the front, in the back, and in the spine, and then I'll just tie a ribbon around it to close it to send it to the person it's going to. But that's basically all I did on the outside. On the inside, this is how I finished it. I glued little pieces, little miniatures that I had into the shelves. Little cans of food. I'm hoping it's focusing enough, but it's not, is it? Yeah, kinda. I just don't get this camera. Sometimes it focuses great, sometimes it doesn't. So anyway, that's what I glued in there, and I took these little. This one was actually a stamp, not a stamp, but a sticker, and I just stuck that in there for a picture on the wall. This one came out of a catalog for cross-stitch kits, and this was just a picture from that catalog I cut out and pasted on there. I added a little curtain out of this is actually an old lady's scarf back from the day, and it's kind of worn and kind of aged looking, so that's what I made my curtain out of. And I just added some little trim at the top and at the bottom. So there's the curtain. Let's see if I can do this without hitting my computer. There's some little canisters I covered with some of the designer paper and glued those in. There's a little loaf pan there for like maybe making meatloaf or something. Everything's glued down, and I hope it stays glued down on its trip over to its new home. Here's the faucet that I did out of the pipe cleaners. I added, it was looking pretty dull, and it kind of blended in with the walls, so I put some stickles on it, but then it looked like a sparkle fest. I don't know, I wiped some of it off. It still kind of sparkles, but you know, it's better than nothing, I guess. And there's our little sink down there. Let's see if I can tip it up enough that you can see. There's the little sink. Oops, my screensaver went down. Hang on. Give me a second to shut that off. Sorry. Okay. And then over here is a little apple on a doily, a little bowl of eggs, and then a knife. They're all glued down. Down here I put a little curtain for under the sink. And over on this side I glued down a little box of, I think it's laundry soap or something. And then I added a little mouse over here. He has one ear that has broken off, but I thought this project isn't perfect, so why does he have to be perfect? So there's my little mouse down there. I went around the edge of the book. I started out with gold, you know, thinking that like the gold leaf books that it would, nah, it didn't work. So I tried silver, thinking, well, I didn't have any gold in here. I did have silver, so I tried silver. Nah, didn't like it, so I went with the red. Red looked kind of dull, so then I went ahead and put some red stickles on top of it. So that's what I did all the way around the bottom, the edge. And then over here I just added another piece of that pattern paper, and then some of the paper that was from the wallpaper I made a border, and this was also a piece from the paper from the paper line that I just cut out a strip of. And then this is some old Sizzix steel rule dies that I had that are letters, and I just spelled out Home Sweet Home. And then I just made up a little Prima doll there on that side. Sorry, I can't show it very much better, but because of this book hits my computer and I can't push it back far enough. I wanted to add a lot of stickles and pretty things, like a bow, and but then I got to thinking, whenever it closes, is it going to be sticking to things over here? Is it going to be in the way? So I decided just to keep it flat, and thought that would be better. Maybe the person that receives it, if they want to doll it up, they can, but that's pretty much the project. I'm kind of over it. I'm glad it's done, and I like how it ended up, but I would have liked things to have been a little more even and straight, and because of the configuration. So you can see this big gap here because they just don't fit correctly in there. But it's done, and I hope the person that receives it likes it, or at least doesn't throw it immediately into the trash. But it's okay. I like how it turned out, and it was a lot of work, but I'm glad it's done, and I'm glad I did it. And that's one more thing that I can take out of my stash and use and be done with, if you know what I mean. It's good to use up stash, and that's what I plan on doing in 2016. Buy way less and use more and more stash. So that's my project. I hope you liked it. I'm okay with how it ended up. It could have been better in a lot of ways, and I'm sure it could have been worse in a lot of ways too, but I do like how it turned out. I think I'll put a stamp on the back and put my name on it back here somewhere, kind of like I do on my cards with my mouse stamp. I'll probably do that on there, and then send it off to the person, and then on to the next project. So thanks everybody for watching. Take care, and till next time, meow for now.